Okay, I'm back to play some more Islanders. I'm doing the runs all on the first island to try to get a feel for the early game as much as I can. I want to get a good base, a lot of strategies that maximize my points early, so that when I do get to later game decisions where I'm placing buildings that are going to take up the entirety of an island, that I know that I'm playing the early game as best I can, like definitively. So let's get into a new island. Ooh, this looks fun. I'm really liking the color scheme of this area. The statue isn't beside too much area, so we're not going to be able to build too much of a city around it. That's definitely going to hinder the points. Um, I, this is just a really nice color palette for this map. I mean, it's not too big, all things considered. If I had to guess, I'm going to get around 800 to 900 points on this one. It's not going to be one of my highest scoring first islands. Let's see what the first pack is. Seaweed Farmer Brewing Pack, pretty usual. Last time I played, I was able to get far enough to where I got a warehouse for this early game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that many building packs in, so I don't think I need to worry about either a brewery or I don't think the seaweed farms get affected by warehouses. But I do remember liking seaweed farms closer to my buildings just because the shamans get some extra points off of them, and fishers near city centers benefit from the fields themselves, but not the farms. If I had to guess, I'd put them across from each other in this little straight here. It doesn't allow me to put too many extra like fields off to any corners. Maybe I might do. Hmm. I'm thinking actually over here. It feels like an open enough space where I'm going to be able to get like 8 or 9 fields down, which is around the maximum that I'm going to be getting for the buildings. That's roughly how many I pick up. And then I can get maybe a shaman down in this corner to block out most of its rays beside a few of the flowers, and then houses beside the shaman here. I could maybe then also place a second one here if they're not in range of each other to be able to get some houses here getting a lot of points. City center goes here. It's close enough to the statue to be able to benefit. And the city centers beside the sand is nice for masons. So I'm thinking that that's how I'm going to start out the game. We have to place all of the buildings, which tragic. You know me and loving the double points on seaweed farms. Getting 2+8s on each of them, it just feels so nice. Okay, if I were to place a seaweed farm here, I can angle it basically in like whatever way I want to be able to pick up all of the fields on this side without having to worry about hitting the farm. It just seems very easy to place. So I'm going to be saving this one for one of my second placements. That means that my first farm will go here, I believe. I'll bridge the gap in between them with fields, and then I can capitalize later on into the game by putting an extra one here. Maybe getting like 1 or 2 seaweed fields in between these 2 farms to score some points, which I guess I should move this one further up. But that puts it too far away from here. I think I'm just going to extend these guys out, their nets as far out into the center to reach each other. And I'm not going to worry too much about this guy. Or I place 2 farms at the beginning here, and then my last farm goes over here to be able to easily capitalize off of whatever fields are there, but neither of the farms. And I'm not going to have any fields interact between this far, these 2 that I placed at the beginning, and the far one later. So a first farm goes along this wall so that it can be close to get any benefits for early buildings. The second one goes here, and the third one goes here, if we're lucky enough to get 3. I'm going to extend its range out as far as I can so that it is closer to this second seaweed field when I'm trying to bridge the gap between both of them. More fields will be in the range of this guy and my second farm at the same time. And in the same vein, I don't want to place any fields that are going to take up space away from that guy. So one right here seems fine. And I could maybe place one on the other side, even though that's getting a bit close to there. I think placing one here what I'm going to end up with. And hopefully the farm that I place is going to be able to nick... ooh, the net might get in the way. I don't think it's going to be able to pick up either of the 2 farms before, which means that I'm going to move this seaweed field up by 1. So that, at worst, a seaweed farm that goes here I can have the radius skim across and nick this field without nicking the net, so I don't take the minus on the points of the seaweed farm here, but I get the bonus of the seaweed field down below. Brickmaker pack early, big fan of those compared to the brewing pack, just because then it feels like I can put my masons down as early as I want to. We'll start in this corner so that we build... Ooh, okay. If I'm planning on placing shamans here, which I really am, I'm liking these two spots, or maybe even up a bit higher or on this ridge. That means that I don't want masons to be placed down here first, or I could go so far as to place masons on this side, which means that my brickyards are going to need to reach both ends. I don't want to take up too much space up here if this is where my city center is going to be scoring all of its points, so a brickyard further down would be nice, and then masons are probably going to have the same range as the brickyard. They feel similar to me. It's something that I'm not going to try to remember fully because it's going to be impossible, but getting a feel for how far a mason is able to be away from a brickyard. Like, if I know that they're similar in range, then I can plan out exactly where my masons are going to go in the future. Guess I contradicted myself there. I am going to try to remember exactly how far ranges are on buildings. The sandpit just fits so nicely that I might end up placing it here. Okay, let's say I place a sandpit on this side. Am I able to get, like... I guess I could fit in 1, and then 2, and then a brick maker can go... But if I place them far out, and I try placing a brickyard to pick up all of the sand pits, I'm not ever able to place a second brickyard to benefit off of, like, 2 without being beside the original brickyard. If I make them more in a line... So I place one here, then I say, like, place another one here, and then a third one here. I could place a brickyard up top, or even just, like, down below right beside the sandpit, and then a second one can be placed later on down here if I need to. So I think I am going to start from this corner. We'll see how that pans out. Now, if I were to place the brickyard, it's not beside as many sand pits as I want it to be, but I'm only losing 1 point. A sand pit, let me get this guy back up, gets a +3 from a brickyard, whereas a brickyard gets +4 from a sand pit. So it is better to place these guys later, but only losing 1 point on it isn't the end of the world. So I think I'm going to use it so that I don't have to use as many seaweed fields for the future. Let's get a brickyard down. This we're going to try to extend as far out to the side as possible so that as many sand pits in the future can benefit from it. And this way, if I place masons on this side or on this side, they'll be able to benefit, which I'm a fan of. Fits nicely along the wall there, I think. Let me just double check. That feels right. Okay. I have another 20 points to work with, and I'm going to get 9 and 10 from the seaweed field. So I do end up having to place 3 seaweed fields anyways. How many points am I getting from the brickyard? 10. Means that I can place down 3 seaweed fields, 9, 10, and 11, and progress without having to place the brickyard. So it is actually better to just play my 3 seaweed fields, which does suck. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all 3 of them in beside each other without getting close enough to where I want to place my second farm. That still interacts with all of them, that's fine. And that one still interacts with all of them, that's fine. And there's the perfect amount of points. Okay, see city pack, take city pack. Now, I originally planned for the city center to be here. We're getting an extra +2 points for the seaweed farm being nearby, which is nice. Not a lot of points, but it's not something I see often. It's how I normally play. If I place it here, I'm trying to wait on shamans to be able to place all of my houses afterwards, which means I need to get another 30 points somehow to be able to make it to the next building pack, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of opportunity to, so I might just place a city center back here, right beside the statue, place as many mansions beside both as possible, and then wait on getting a second city center to place after the shamans go down, and then just send it on houses. So I don't play any houses, I just play this one city center and a bunch of mansions around it. Let's see if I can line this up in any way to make it... Okay, I've got one space and then a little bit extra on this side. I've got, sorry, 2 spaces and a bit extra on this side. I've got 2 spaces and even less. I think the way that I want to align it is on the right, because then I will be allowing 3 spaces on the right and 3 spaces on the left to be able to Tetris my houses into. If I went onto this side, I might only be allowing 2 here and 3 here. And I will put this guy as far away as I can within the limits of being able to Tetris buildings around the city center, so only halfway, I guess. Because it's city center, you can think of it as a 2x2 block, same as the mansions. Which means that if I place it half, like if this guy's half and half, then I have exactly 1 block of space left on this side. Is that? Oh, it's a house. My bad. Yeah, see, this gives me exactly 3 bits of space now, and I have a little bit extra on 3 bits of space here, but it was definitely better to left align it with the statue. So I'm gonna do another one where I place this half away. There feels right. And we have another 7 points to score before being able to go to the next round. I don't want to bite the bullet on a seaweed field. I'm fine to bite the bullet on a brickyard. We'd already placed it here. I'm just going to repeat the action that I did last time, lining it up nice and cleanly with the wall. And let's see what the next building pack is. Okay, a lumber pack. I'm seeing like 10 trees over here, and I'm seeing like 7 that I could get with a single lumberjack here, or like 8. It's not looking good for lumberjacks, which means I'm going to take a brewery. The brewery is going to be able to be placed near the brickyard, which is then going to be able to benefit both from like a warehouse if I do get to that point. It's a sandpit, the brickyard, the brewery, and a tavern can go on one of these ridges to hit the brewery and all of the houses that I'm planning to place in the future. We get a mansion. Let's place that. Oh, does the statue stop me from being able to get that? I guess I'll have to see. It's a house slot in there. Oh, it does. Oh, that is nice. Okay, so I could... Yeah. Nothing. I was going to say that I could have right-aligned this a bit more, but it's such a small amount of space. It does not matter. No. I made the right decision. Let's go back and place the hop fields now. We'll place them further away from the brickyards, just so that I have the most opportunity for the sand pits that I want to place here to hit as much sand as possible. If I start taking up the space with hop fields, maybe I lose 1 point because the sand pit can't be the resources that it would take up from like the lines in front of it. One of the hops fields or the brewery is taking up space from it. So I'll put it on this side more so. Not fully, because I'm thinking a good plateau space might be here. Might is the key word. I'm planning on Masons being down here. There's a City Center 1 and a City Center 2, so it's going to need to be in range of both the city centers to get a lot of points. So if I can smush it underground here, that'll be nice. So Hops Field's not completely on the side of the sandbar. Let's line it up nicely with the edge. And I have 30 points to go. I either place a brewery early, and I commit to having to place the hop fields near these hop fields and this brewery, and the tavern has to go right around there in the future, or I start placing houses, which I do not want to do around here. So I think it's a brewery, a seaweed field, and like 1 house to get me the rest of the way. Yeah, because this guy's not going to be able to score more than 16 points. It's just not possible for him, right? Yeah, I think the max is 12. So it's going to have to be 1 house goes down. Let me place that house first. Now, I want to save as much space close to the city center and the statue as possible for mansions, because they have such a small range. So it's going to go on this side. I could maybe even sneak a building down here. It doesn't feel too bad. Okay, And then both a brewery and a seaweed field are next. The brewery goes here so that hop fields can benefit both from themselves and the brewery, and I need it to be close enough for a tavern to hit it in most of the houses. So like, there's as far as I feel comfortable going, not knowing the exact size of a hop field. We'll place our last seaweed field. Oh, that sucks. I'm going to be taking up some of the space that I wanted to save for when I put down a seaweed farm there in the future. I guess that's fine. Masons, and another city center. Okay, so we can place this guy down, get him outside of range of the other one. But before we do, we should get some masons to benefit both off of the brickyard. They're not gonna be able to make it close enough to the city center. Which I might not need to put them beside the brickyard at this point, if it's only 13 points down here and it's more to get them beside the statues. And because I have so few buildings, I'm fine to play for more points than planning ahead. Let me get the hops field down early because it's just going to be an easy pick. They have such a longer range than what I was expecting. Wow, I was thinking that like right here, they were going to be like wheat fields where I'd have to place them in the center and the range would clip about like halfway through each of these buildings. But no, it fully encapsulates and then some, the two buildings. And the brewery could have been aligned with that wall and I would have been good. Let's place a new city center down. But before that, I think it's masons. Yeah, they benefit more from the masons than the masons do from them. And they're definitely going to be in range no matter where I place them. Okay, if the shamans have the same range as the masons, which it feels like they do, then they'll be able to be placed down there without interacting with this mason, but the houses could hit both of them. The same thing could go for this mason here, but I don't know if I want to spread them out too much. Am I thinking that placing a mason here is going to get me to place 2 more houses beside it? I think so. So it stays. There. And when we put the city center down, it's going to benefit greatly from this. And that is going to get me to the next round without having to place the mansion or any of my houses yet. It's not the greatest that I'm just eating some of the space of my city center by, not being able to place it in the center here where I'd like to. But the minus 45 points is not something I'm willing to concede to be able to get a better placement on the city center. It's not going to pay out in the long run. Okay, next building pack. Lighthouse for a high impact building, and that's a lot of houses. The struggle here is going to be getting to shamans before I have to start placing down any of those houses. Look, they're kissing. How sweet. Okay, lighthouse. Oh, I'm missing out on 1 point. Wow. Oh, is there a ray being blocked? Can I get a 41, possibly? I can. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, that's where it's going to be placed. Now a farming pack, that would really benefit if I could put them right beside the statue. And mills do like being beside, I think it's both city centers and masons. So placing one in this area could be nice, but I'm trying to save that space for mansions this time around. When I did my last run, the fields did provide me a lot of points, just because, yeah, they like statues as much as mansions do. And they're a lot... Yeah, they are a bit smaller. They're not a full 2x2 space. And because they're so consistent, you can really pack them in around the statue. Yeah, it's just a very good place for a mill. I'm gonna try keeping it further off to the left here, just so that when I do place a shaman, I think they don't like farming buildings. They want to be far away from anything like harvests things. And then I can put all of my fields down on this side, whereas my houses will be beside the city center here. Let me get my mansions down so I can stop thinking about them. There's not going to be anything really better that I can place there. Maybe, no, I could place a mansion that locks around the corner and maybe it's in range of the city center. So I'll place this guy down first and see if I can find anything that does that for me. Yeah, like this. It is losing out on 1 block of space, but the 2x2 is going to be losing out on all 4 of these blocks of space. We are going to need to place at least 1 house, it is looking like, which I could maybe get over in this corner again. Yeah, that's nice. Keep them out of range of where my high scores are going to be in the future. Now, is it... No, this is where I'm going to be placing a mansion in the future. I don't want to consider placing a house there. What a quaint spot for a house. Okay. Play for the 12 points here. And... I didn't notice. It's a perfect finish to the round. Place this guy as far away as we can, because then I think I can fit a second one in there. Or, no, it definitely better to do it in the opposite order. Oh, they even clip into the mill a bit. Yeah, okay, I didn't have anything to worry about. There's the shamans. There's the shamans. So it is not going to benefit from, or I'm going to be placing it close enough to the city center that it's going to take the minus the points, but I'm fine with that. If I place it up here and get more houses in range, oh yeah, it blocks enough rays to be worth it. I think the highest I got down here is an 11. This is, I think I got a 9 somewhere along this wall. Let me eke it out for a little bit longer. I remember seeing a higher number than a +7. And people that are watching the video are going to be going crazy because they have a better memory than I do. Okay, I'll settle for the +7 then. Which means that houses here, yeah, starting out on a 14. And I've got a lot of space to work with to be able to hit the majority of these buildings. I'm still going to get the mansions down first because I'm going to wait in case there's a second shaman that I could put down. Which, ooh, now that I'm thinking about it, if I place a shaman here, where could I place a second one and have it be... Did I just see another +9? It was probably something like red on the... like it was on the wall or something. Come on, show it to me. Yeah, it was on the wall there, for sure. So if I do get it right into the corner to give me 7 points, like this, I think that leaves enough space for another shaman to be over here. Wait, 24? Ooh, I think I might just take the base points. Yes, I'm gonna take these points first. Because it's like placing it beside 4 houses, and I don't think I'm gonna be placing 4 houses beside this guy before... No, I'll place it here first because this is a corner that like I can't move it too much. This one is a little bit more variable, so I can space the shamans out. I don't think, yeah, the mansions are definitely not going to have the range to be able to reach them. If I place some houses here, they'd be able to, but it's not the greatest. Okay, mansions. Oh, I didn't give myself enough space for this. It's definitely way too long to be able to like plan that far ahead, but still. Oh, that's devious. The statue doesn't do it either. I might be able to get like an angled corner piece to somehow slot in there. Like it might take up less space if I do this. No, not looking like it. Okay. And we'll put a corner here, and we'll look to put a big L block down here. I was hoping for the L block shaped in the other direction to fit. And I do want to save this square right here for a fountain. It's looking like a nice spot for it. Okay, I am wasting 2 blocks worth of space there. If I back it up a bit, I might be able to fit in a park, and there's nothing that I can use this extra space for, I don't think, or nothing that I'm going to want to. No, maybe doing this is better. I lose out on 1 point, but it keeps the option for a park in the future open, and then more blocks to be able to fit into that corner. Yeah. So now it is 18 points. It gets me closer to the next area, but I'm using a small house in an area that I want to use a larger, or sorry, a smaller mansion inside of an area that I want to use a larger mansion in, because it's just got the extra space to push that far. Okay, if I put him here, it's 13. I guess on this side as well, I'm going to be able to fit in an L block. So it's not like it's going to matter that much. This I was saving for a fountain again. So I could place an L block here, a corner, or maybe there's enough space for another L block. Yeah, I'm fine. There seems like 2 spots for L blocks over there. I can place this guy down to cash in on the 18 points right away. I'll left align him just so that I have more space for a park to wiggle around there. And now we're going to have to place down 1 house. I'm hoping to score enough points in the first placement, which I think if I get the shaman in the city center and this mason in, I'll hit it. Yes. More than enough. There's good. Looking for a second shaman or a mason. Fountain is definitely enough to get it'll help us in getting to the next point total. Yeah, 32, and then I'll be able to benefit an extra 5 from a mansion that I place here, and if I place any houses in the future, they'll benefit there. It also saves me... is there any good place to put a fountain to be able to capitalize on the mansions again from this side? Ooh, if I move to the mason a little bit, I can't fit it there. I might place enough houses in range to make this worth it, but most likely not. Yeah. The fountain is only benefiting an extra 4 points, but then it removes all of the mansions that I want to place close to the city center. So placing it on this side is fine. And I've already checked this. They score equally with mansions. It doesn't matter in which order I place them in. There's no way I can drag that back there. No, okay. So the original plan was to get an L block in here like this. Does it not fit? Oh, it's got a little bit of extra space cutting into where that 2x2 block is, so it isn't able to fit. Is there a fit that I can do here, or does it juts out too far? So it looks like I'm only going to be able to get a corner mansion in there, and then maybe an L mansion in after the fact. This is the wrong L shape for it. Right, now I can't fit anything down this area, so there is really only 1 block for me to put down, and it is this mansion specifically. If I'm only placing 1 mansion down, do I get an extra point by placing the fountain here first and then trying to fit the mansion around it? No, doesn't look like it. Okay. That makes sense. There's more mansions for this to hit on the far side. How did I have this angle before? There. Okay, let's put down another sand pit. Hoping to get in the brickyard, but not the other sand pit. That does put it far away from where I'd probably want the warehouse to be. Or I could just put the warehouse in the middle of all this sand here. If I could fit the mansion up on the ridge, it might hit this extra mason, and I don't know if warehouses... they wouldn't benefit off city centers. It would benefit off the statue, but I think placing it here is good enough. It's good enough. Let me just see if there's any other places that I could somehow eke out 18 points. $17's pretty good. And I think that is a better placement than all the way out here. I'm fine to take a 1 point loss for the possibility of getting a lot more points in the future. Especially because I have 10 houses sitting in my inventory waiting to be placed by masons, a shaman, and a city center. Like, the main point scorers of the build. Field going far out. A fisher. Good. I can put it, it is going to be beside the seaweed farm, but it will hit both of the city centers on this side and all of the seaweed fields. I'm seeing 22s, and I'm only seeing a max of 20 over here, actually. A 24? A 24. Okay, so if I place it here, I could place a second 20.1 over here. That's not too many points lost. I could place a 21 there, a 22 there, and yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything better. So I'll just place it for the max points. Wait, another city center? I've been blessed with 3. Okay, so a mason goes down in this area, somewhere nearby, so that I can get some extra points for when I place a second city center, and they're going to be right beside each other here, so that when I place houses, I'm getting a massive amount of points. I don't have the space to build it anywhere else, and placing buildings beside 2 city centers is going to give me a lot. Now, I am going to have to find a way that it doesn't hit this one as well, which means it goes further down, which, oh, it's eating out, it's eating up a lot of the space that could have houses benefit doubly from them. Okay, there feels good, which then just means that I have to have a mason somewhere in range of that. If I put him on this side, is it better? No, there's no way to get him on this wall. I'm fine with just another one right here. Maybe I'll be lucky enough to sneak a house in, yeah, on this side, and then another 1 or 2 down here. Okay, so it's a loss of points currently to make bank on all the houses that are about to be placed. I'm gonna try getting them as far up, and I think it's better if I put them a little bit further to the right and more up. No, that space feels good to me. I'll get enough houses that benefit off of both the mace. Yeah, I need some more space here to be able to benefit off the masons and the 2 city centers. I might even want to push it further to the right than that. Like this. Okay, let's see how much space is left in between. That is definitely looking like 3 blocks worth of space. If I had the other S block, I could test, but that's looking like, yeah, that corner is not going to hit the city center. 3 blocks of space in between those 2, very nice to have. And then the wheat fields, I want to make sure that's as far away from the city centers as possible. I don't want to eat up any of my space, so up here is seeming fine. Now, we're negative on points. We're going to have to pull ourselves out of that hole. Wait, did I? No, I did hit this city center just barely when I placed it. I don't remember seeing that big of a hit. Oh, no. And because I placed the wheat field, I can't undo far enough. Okay, this is going to be a big hole to dig out of. That's another minus 45 points. That's like 2 houses that I'm going to have to place. Now with 3 city centers providing so many points to my fishers, I'm going to want to find ways to be able to make sure that I can hit, yeah, all 3 of them from at least 2 different spots. So this is a 26. So yeah, that's too little. Okay. I'm going to get the max points, which is 30 here on this one, and then I'll be able to hit another 26 on this side. Okay, time to go 90 points up. So now here, I'm not so worried as much about like getting the maximum amount of points on every single house that I place down, more as I am worried about Tetrising everything to maximize my use of space. Maybe an L block fits there instead of this corner piece, and I think this corner piece, yeah, it's like the only block that fits into here nicely. Could it hook around this corner instead? Ah, you can see the radius start to like put an effect on the city center nearby, but it doesn't actually get in range with it. It's just a little bit too short. Oh, okay. So it goes here instead. I could put an L block there instead. Okay, testing it. Yeah, this guy doesn't. Wait. Does he have enough space to go down? He does. Okay, so that's another L block space. Which does a block here leave enough for both this side and that side? Yes, it does. Okay, that's good. So the plan is an L block here and then an L block here, which means that I can put this guy like that. Line him up with the edge of the city center. Man, I am not getting L blocks, and usually that's the hardest one. They're the hardest ones to place. Okay, L1, L2. I'll place something that's not going to interact with either of them. There. There's our first L block, and it's one of the shapes we need. And that pulls us out of the hole. Parks. Ooh, another mason. So I don't want to take it over here because it's going to be too many minus points. I'll want to try building it on this side where I'm going to have more houses be in range. It's not many points itself. I could alternatively put it here for a base amount of 15. Because if I put it over here and I only get like 2 points from it, I would need to have 6 houses beside it. Yeah, that's not happening. So 15 points over here makes a lot more sense. If I have too many houses in the future, I can also build on this side for an extra 2 points whenever it gets nearby. Goodbye me. I don't think I have any more mansion spots up here. Maybe I'll be able to nick this one in the corner? No, I've already tested that. Oh, wait on the mansions. Do I? Oh, I'm not lucky enough to be graced with a skinny park. Okay, let's place more of these houses. An S block. The big burly one that's always difficult to fit in properly. There's an L block, not in the shape that we're hoping for, but it does still reach both of the city centers. It's too like perfect of a slot for me to use this L block to fill it. I would like to wait. Okay, if I fill it like this, that doesn't look like enough space in between the end of the L block that I'm putting down and this square to be able to put another building there. But if I do this, it leaves enough down that aisle to be able to place another block there. Is it fine to do... No, it's better to just do this. I'm overthinking it. Now the exact same L block, it doesn't fit in on that side like we want it to. And I'm using this shaman so much less than I thought. Guess I haven't needed to build out to the corner yet. There's not enough space there to build. I'm fine with taking a 19-point house. Now it does get rid of more space than if I were to hook it into that corner. It's getting rid of 1 extra block, but seeing an extra 2 points on it, I think it's worth it. I think it's worthwhile. Okay, now with 3 city centers, if I'm able to move this up into the corner, raise it up, it's going to earn me a lot of points, and if I'm not, it's not going to earn me that many. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I did not know that it would be this high scoring if I could get it in the center somehow. Okay, on heavy city center runs, I need to be planning an extra brick of space left over for plateau. A lot more on runs. Doesn't feel good to place it down there. There's no way that I'm getting it on these edges or clipping it in anywhere around here. Yeah, the only place that I can like reasonably clip it in is here, and it's still got a long way to go before it hits that second city center. I do remember that seaweed fields like being beside plateaus, so I could also look to place it down here. 22 points isn't half bad. 32 points is better, and it's going to be beside the seaweed fields that I want to place in the future. Is there any other way that I can angle this to get more than just that? So I'd want to get the mason here and the other mason from over there. 32. That's the max. And there's no way that I can get the second mason or any further. So I'm going to spin it so that as much space down below is left over for the fields to go in between the two farms. We'll place another wheat field. Now mansions. I don't think I have the greatest spot for mansions anymore. The L block is still not the proper shape. I'm fine losing one block of space to get a 26 point house. Now let's see if we can put this park anywhere to get points, because I'm going to wait on mansions to find a better spot. I don't want to think about them yet, to be perfectly honest. So this is where my overflow for houses are going to go. This is not good enough to warrant a park going there, especially with a shaman nearby. I think the best I'm getting is, yeah, one over here, and we'll see where I can play later ones later. Another mill. You know, not half bad. Seeing if I can place it any further down to my other industry buildings, because on my next draw, if I get there, I might be seeing a warehouse. I just don't think with where I've placed the original mill that I'm able to get the fields. Yeah, I need to play it on grass. I'm forgetting I can't play it on the beach at all. I mean, it might even be best to just put it right beside here. Okay, if I play it here, I'm getting 8 points extra. I need to play 2 fields beside it to make this worthwhile, or 1 field and a warehouse, I guess. I'll go here. Now we're looking to be in range of all of the city centers without hitting many industry buildings. 23 is looking like the most that we're going to get. And if I put them on this side, it doesn't benefit much from these points. So the locations where it's 23 is where it goes. Oh, do I even hit the next area? It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Okay, this space that I left behind for a park is only 14. Wow. What about this space that was left behind? It's more. Let's place one there. And I might take the 15 points. Because we're getting so low on buildings, I'm going to see if there's any better places to put it. I'm not going to put it out here just out of spite. I want to find a house that fits this angle. Well, now knowing that this shaman scored 25 compared to the 7 here, I'm glad that I put the shaman where it scored more base points. Yeah, I'll take up the 14 spot there. Okay, I need to score 7 on each mansion, which is trivial when I can just put them beside the city centers. There's not going to be any better places to put them over here. And I don't really need to conserve on space because I'm not expecting to get many more houses before the end of the game. If I wanted to place them, though, they should be beside each other with the extra points. and a tower. That might push me far enough. Two. It blessed me. There's no way I was getting out of this without 2 towers. Wow. Wow. Okay. So if I place a tower, I'm trying to get all of my city in range of both the towers that I place. The extra 5 points that I get is not worth it from extending this far out. So I play one for 47 here, and then that just means that I need to play another one somewhere around this vicinity to get points again. I'm looking at I think I saw 47. Okay, so if I play it almost beside the wheat fields here, that's a 52. Okay, so if I play it beside the wheat fields, is there any way that I can get a good score? Yeah, like 45. Okay, bit hard to tell exactly how far that goes. Trying to lock that into memory. Okay, I'm gonna play this guy on the very edge of 52, and I'll play the second one after, trying to get the full 47 instead of 42. Oh, misplay. I need to be playing my house first. And it's a shape that will fit, not the perfect one, but a shape. Right? Yeah, I remember sizing that up. Okay, there's one. And now this guy will score an extra point as 53. There's the first one, and the second one needs to be out of range, and I just saw 47. Any higher with a 48? No. And I shouldn't be so greedy as to look for it. Unless it finds me. Okay. A warehouse. Oh, we do get it. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. And we are able to hit both of the mills, so it is worthwhile. We don't hit the brewery, which just out of range. If I knew the hops field a little bit better, I would have gotten an extra 5 points. I don't think that's going to be the deal breaker here, but... Okay, it does get more points for being beside a fissure, but there's no place that I could have put the fissure down to get as many points as it did and still make it beside the warehouse. One, two. How many points? Only 7. That means that we get one more pack. Oh, this is a better run than I was expecting. 3 city centers will do that though. Okay, 9 points if I put it on the plateau. Not 9 points if I put it on the plateau. 9 points if I put it up here, which I should save a house to be beside that. Can I make it? No, not in range of both the tower and the city center. Okay, it just goes here. Now another draw. We're only going to be getting 2 buildings. A tavern is good though. It'll hit our brewery and our houses. I'm surprised. Oh, never mind. Yeah, okay, it does hit the brewery from this angle. I was about to say 45 is really high scoring just to get it without a brewery, but I didn't realize that city centers also provide a +8 to its score. No, I didn't see a 47. I'm just tricking myself. And then here's a field that is worth a lot more than usual because it's beside 2 mills. Oh, almost at the 1.2k, but this is a better island than what I was expecting. Not getting an early seaweed farm feels bad, but taking 3 city centers in exchange for that and 2 towers. This one feels more like a run that I got lucky on than I played skillfully. I should have put the... I guess I couldn't have moved this city center at all. This was locked in, meaning that this city center afterwards, not getting a reduction in points, is also locked in. I would have had an extra 45 score here to be able to get another 2 buildings if I didn't move the city center up enough. That's the biggest blunder of the run, easily, 100%. I just didn't see how many points I lost from it. The next one is not playing for a plateau. I could have gotten 60 points off of this, where I guess I did get 30, so it is quite nice. But I'm never planning for a plateau. You'll hear me all the time of like, oh, early game, I want to make sure that the brewery goes into the tavern, goes into the houses. But I'm never thinking about where this can be beside both Masons and city centers, because it's so unruly and large, to be honest. I think in most other games, I'm going to be playing it less for the base points and more as a platform to be placed on water beside beaches where there's like a massive amount of either industry to place a market or sorry, like a warehouse slash a market on, or beside a bunch of houses to place something that scales off of the houses, just like a big building. And I think those usually are markets. Another thing that I should have done, moving the brewery back, Lighthouse was a good placement this time around. I'm surprised that I got that many points with it, just because I thought more raids would have been blocked by these, but they ended just before it, which is nice. I'm liking the seaweed farms closer to the main buildings in early game runs, but I think that this space in late game runs needs to be capitalized on by more plateaus or water platforms. So early game, this is something that I'm coming to enjoy. I am also liking the city center being directly beside the statue. It feels like a lot more mansions are able to get more points from doing so. And this run is also something where I didn't have a good statue placement. There's a lot of dead space around here where I wasn't able to place many buildings, and neither did many of my early industry buildings get the extra few points that I need to like save another seaweed farm or another house or etc. 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 Um, hmm. I think with how the draws work, it really is just setting up to try to get to push to like 900. As soon as you go there, the tower pickup that you get, the what is it, warehouse pickup that you get, and then the tavern all give you like 40 points each, so it's easier to get to the next ring. If you don't make it to that 900 breakpoint or however much that you get the pack at, it I think it would like stunt your growth by a solid 200 points. Just you hit one of those early breakpoints and it's easy to get up to this. It's harder to go any past, especially with the two draw though. Um, Now I think I'm only going to do one more run. I'm feeling pretty confident about the early game. I still want to make sure that this is a strategy that I like, city center being beside statue, and that this run here wasn't just lucky because of the 3 city centers that I got. I want to make sure that I can like kind of consistently get to the towers, the brewery, and the tavern in the first island. Um, it's mostly because I want to start playing with special mechanics like wisps or getting new buildings or just like having more choice about the islands that I want to play on, and also bigger islands and more buildings in general. I want to be able to place a tower and see it hit like 100 points.